What's up everybody, I'm Jason, this is Freebird Garage, and today we are doing How Much Did It Cost? And that starts right now. Alright, I have all the tools obviously laid out in front of me of what it costs to do that chain conversion on my Harley Davidson FXR that I laid out over the 6-week progress of me finishing it week by week. Let's start up front here. If you're going through the whole system and you're taking things apart, especially in the Harley world, you're gonna have to have torque wrenches. It's very common. If you've never done it before, this is what you have to have. Now, I have 3 in particular I have up here that I use periodically through whenever I'm tearing it apart. One here, this is by Carlisle, pristine one that I really enjoy, nice quality one, because it goes by inches. It's a 3/8, and this goes by inches in very, very small increments, which is very handy when you get down to like 7-inch pounds, 8-inch pounds. Moving to the other ones here, these cover me for my foot pounds. These all together average right around 200 to 250 bucks. Primary locking up tool. You can use a lot of other stuff. I just went with the one that essentially Harley recommended in their book. Service manual there. You can get this one off of essentially Amazon, 5-12 bucks. I've seen people talk about just shoving a bunch of shirts in there. That works too. Whatever it causes you to be able to lock up that primary. We also gotta use it reverse to lock up the transmission. So you gotta, this just easily flips, boom, 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 and you're done. Using a socket for the transmission in particular. This is a 1 3/16. It's 6 bucks for this one. I did seals, so seal puller, that's 15 bucks. And doing seals, of course, picks, all these different size picks. Harley's always got to be able to pick something out, and very common there. Pick them up on a loose bin there in an automotive store, 5-6 bucks. Now, specialty tool, this one in particular here, this is for that drive nut. You have to have this when you do the chain conversion. There's no way around it. Which tool or where you buy it from, yeah, that can be a little tricky. Which one do you trust? I took a gamble. I went off of Amazon on mine, and this is only 35 bucks. There are ones out there up to $160 to $180, and this one I did the exact same stuff as I could see. Has a nice spacer there that locks over. There was no slop on the socket. It was nice. Really have to have this for part of the kit. Can't get away with it without pulling that pulley off. Working our way to this beautiful box right here. This is my favorite tool. It is a torque set here. The majority of your front of your Harley, everywhere around it, there's somewhere that you gotta use these bits on them. This one in particular, this one goes for 200 bucks. This is what I got this a while ago. We had to do the race. This wasn't required into doing the chain conversion, but as far as preventative maintenance into doing the chain conversion, that's why I have this. This kit is phenomenal. I know there isn't much to show, but I used this in one of the videos, and I can't tell you how much this saved my stress. I mean, I heard nightmares of trying to pull off that race, and this Jim's tool did it with ease, and installation as well. So it's a puller and installer. Very, very common race to get messed up, whether it goes back into the 5th main gear seal or being pulled back out into the inner primary. This tool can save it. Now, if it goes far enough where you can't catch it, then this won't do it, but in general, if you're installing or removing, it's a fantastic set to have. Anyways, 242 bucks for that. Checking your runouts on everything on this bike or working on Harleys. It's common in the service manual to check for some stuff, race in particular, to see if it's got the right distance. So of course, you want to have yourself a mic. That's what I use as well in this kit. This mic, generally, it's like 20 bucks. You can buy one on Amazon or anywhere else. But these two tools aren't absolutely required if you're doing this, even just the seals or the chain conversion. I did mine because, like I said throughout the videos, I had a leak. This is a transmission 5th gear, or transmission seal, sorry. And it makes sure, this is by Jim's, that there is a proper distance, which is like 500 thousandths of an inch. It talks about in the service manual that seal needs to be set, and this gives you that exact distance so that you know that when you slam it into that transmission, you're gonna guarantee yourself the right fitment, which is awesome. All right, the other Jim's tool here. Didn't think I was gonna use this and absolutely loved this tool here. It's a two-part. One is for the sleeve of the spines. It talks about when you are rolling the 5th gear main seal over. It's a tricky little seal, real small and very common to leak on your transmission for fifth gear, and I believe they have them on 6th gears too. Now, this one's only for the 5th gear, but when you have to pull it apart, which using your picks, you'd get in there, pull that seal out, success, you're good. Now you gotta install this thing, and you got this big shaft you gotta work your way around. In the service manual, it actually says use masking tape to roll it on there. I tried that first before I cracked open the package for this, and it was not going over smooth, and I could just tell that I'm like, all it takes is one little snag, and you're back to tearing this whole thing apart after you get on the road. So this slides over, and then you use this, of course, to ram it on, and that gives you the right distance, and bam, you're in the spot. This is $100. C-clip, these here, yeah, pretty much gotta have them if you're working on your Harley. You gotta use a couple C-clips when you're working there. One in particular is your transmission C-clip when you're taking it apart, so you do actually have to have one of these. I don't know if you would call this a really special tool or not, but you gotta have one. Pull that clip off. That one's 15 bucks. You can get it at Harbor Freight. That's where I got that one. Big wrench here, 15/16. Take it off the rear wheel. Got to do that, of course, to get rid of that rear wheel axle. The chain part itself, you can't get away with one of these. And this is, I like this kit. It was really easy to use. It was very nice. This is the chain now remover. But before you say, hey, I have a grinder, you have to also install it. The Master Link, 84 bucks. All right, rounding it out here. The other kit that I use just as much as my torque set here. And that's, of course, just a classic socket set. Look at that, beautiful. I use Evercraft, the inexpensive version of Carlisle. Works just fine. All right, so those are all the tools. We've covered all those. The chain conversion itself, which of course isn't on here, and that includes the sprockets from Vulcan, the chain itself, and that runs $270 on that chain conversion. Now, what it does not include, that's also we have to add in there, is the gaskets. Gaskets, depending on which way you go with, I went with a whole inner primary and outer primary gasket set. That ranges right around $150. Last piece of the puzzle, you need primary fluid. I add that in because that's still a cost. It's still a cost to put in there. All right, so we've heard all the numbers. I don't have a tally up here anywhere. What does all of this cost from the bare stock? Meaning that if you were to walk into an empty garage and you were just starting to get yourself into it, and you wanted all these tools, essentially you can repeat and do again. This whole deal, $1,700. More than likely, if you're probably watching this, you probably have one or the other, a big portion of this already figured out. I wanted to actually lay it out to see what tool, every tool that was touched, what had to be added into it. Now, I still added up what just the chain conversion, meaning that you still need, I would say, 2 specialty tools to get in there. One's gonna be your pulley nut socket, possibly this kit here, if you go with a master kit with a riveting style, primary fluid, of course, plus the gasket set. You're ranging right around $500. Is that cheap? I don't know, that's up to your aggression. To me, I still think that's pretty fair. I wouldn't say it's cheap at all. I would say it's pretty fair if you're doing it yourself. The only thing I did not add into this video is labor. So to lay this all out and how many hours I had to do each week, I would say about 8 hours. I can only do a little bit. I have a family to attend to, I got my job. So every way I could do it, I pieced together about 2 hours or so each night. So 8, maybe 10 hours to get it done. That's where it kind of up your aggression, your time, how much it's worth. That's why people do it your own self. Save a lot of money that way. Or go to a shop. Don't have to spend any of this. Get it done and get on the road and enjoy yourself. But there it is, the full layout, how you think it is, what the cost is. Was it too expensive? I think that's up to everyone's aggression. Tools are as well. You can buy them as cheap as you need to, where you need to, where you go to. This is what it cost me if you're looking for the exact same tools, which I just recommend go to that fits you. Figure out what you need and get it done. That's what matters. So that about wraps up for me on this one, guys. I would greatly appreciate it if you could hit the subscribe button, tap that like, press the notification, leave a comment below, and tell me what you think. And for those who have subscribed, thank you. As always, stay free. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.